What's good, man? What's good, man? Grind hard, Sports Nation. We back at it. And the almighty Terence Crawford, Bud, has announced his retirement. And, you know, this was kind of expected on my end because going into the Canelo fight, Canelo was seen as, Bud's last obstacle, last question, you know. Now there's like not even no real big money fights for Bud. Bud accomplished it all. He was undisputed in three weight classes. And Bud's in that conversation. I give it to him. He in that conversation with the Ray Leonards, Sugar Ray Robinsons, and everybody. The three-time undisputed, never ducked nobody, the all-around skill set, power, speed, footwork. You know, the performance against Canelo Alvarez was A plus. He kept circling around Canelo, jabbing him up, touching the body, blocking that left hook, keeping that phone up. You know, it seems like the two fights where there was a perceived threat for Terence Crawford, he shined the brightest. You know, the Errol Spence and the Canelo fight. The Canelo fight was pretty much like the Errol Spence fight without the knockdowns. He pretty much schooled Canelo every round, barely got touched. You know, pretty much flawless victory. Hurt Canelo in the ninth round, stood in the pocket, did a little bit of everything. Showed his whole skill set, counterpunching, footwork, jab, chin. The little bit of punches Canelo did land didn't affect him. And Bud is going out like a G. He hasn't ducked nobody. There's nobody you can really say that he's retiring that to avoid like most other fighters. And I think this kind of, in a negative effect, this is another top fighter retiring undefeated. So now the young comers with the O might be protecting the O a little bit more. That's about the only negative thing I can see about it. But Bud's never really even had no close fights or none of that shit. You feel me? Like there was some fights where he got the knockout and the scorecards were close, but I don't know if you consider that a close fight. So he ain't even had no close fights in his career. The quality of competition, people are down on it up to the Earl fight, but I think his competition is decent enough to be the all-time great, especially at this era, like over the Canelos and stuff. It's the debate is Bud and Floyd. That's the debate. You feel me? Like you can side with Bud because the three-time undisputed. Oh yeah, and the knockout that went on that crazy knockout spree, knocked out every welterweight. But Floyd got the more names, and Floyd made about $500 more million. So it's a debate worth having. I understand either side, but me personally, I would rather be Floyd. I ain't gonna lie. With all that money and popularity and shit, Floyd gonna make way more money than Bud after his career. But as far as like what's right for the sport type of fighter, like Bud is better at that than Floyd. Like he didn't like duck nobody, always went after the best and everything in the best condition, make sure everything's on the up and up. Cause he wasn't no A side. Bud couldn't like put rehydration clauses on people, put a bunch of stipulations on people. Like he didn't have that power. He was the B side against Earl. He was the B side against Canelo. And this is where it made sense for Bud to retire, to be honest, because there ain't really much out there left for him. Janabek, they were saying that was an idea. He was probably finna fight Janabek, but don't nobody really care about that fight like that. And I don't even think that's for undisputed. Janabek is unified. You feel me? Bud don't really need Janabek. So retiring right now with the memory of watching you whoop the shit out of Canelo Alvarez, the protected, you feel me, the protected star, the ones who can rehydrate people and stuff. That's a good look. Because Canelo always was put on that throne like he was the best throughout his career, and Bud was always held back by promoters and never was the favorite, never was coddled, always put in tough fights. Even the no-namers early in his career, some of them was tough fights and was underdog fights. He had to go to their backyard. Like the Ricky Burns, the British Prescott type fights. Like Canelo ain't really have to go through all that. Canelo fought people in his favor all the way up till he got to Matthew Hatton. He was even able to put Matthew Hatton in the rehydration clause. And this is his first title fight. He was that big of a star. That's how much push he had behind him. Bud didn't have that privilege, and he still accomplished more than Canelo. 3-time undisputed. You feel me? Climbed to the mountaintop, you know, without too much, without having to bow down to the promoter. PBC tried, but he stood on his square. Earl Spence. If Earl Spence didn't make PBC let him give Bud the fight, they wouldn't have did it because PBC was talking about it ain't gonna make enough money, trying to protect Earl. PBC was trying to protect Earl from Bud, but Earl, he wanted undisputed. So he gave Bud that opportunity, and we seen what happened. You feel me? And Canelo probably wouldn't have gave Bud that opportunity either, but Canelo is getting that pressure that he had to either fight Terence Crawford or he had to fight Benavidez, and he damn sure didn't want to get in there with David Benavidez. So he'd rather just got in there and got outboxed by Terence Crawford, because if he would have gotten there with Benavidez, he wouldn't have been able to fight no more. Benavidez would have stopped his ass. So he went the route with Terence Crawford, probably made a couple of less dollars. But hey, he able to fight another day. And Terence Crawford got that opportunity, and he whooped Canelo ass. And Bud probably retiring because the rematch money probably ain't looking right, or Canelo just flat out just don't want the rematch because he know happen again. Because Bud still counterpunching, footwork, jab, that's a nightmare for Canelo. What Canelo gonna get in there and probably win what? Probably like 2 more rounds at best. He don't want to get back in there. So Bud get to retire on top. There ain't really much left for him to do. What other big names at 168 like that? You feel me? But hey, he did it his way, and he retired in the same condition as Floyd Mayweather. But in all reality, I hope this is just a negotiation tactic for Bud to get more money in some other fight that he may be looking at because he always in shape. He always in shape. So if he see a deal that he like, he gonna come back. So we got to see if years go by and he don't come back to know that he's officially retired. But if he didn't come back, he done did everything. So it is what it is. And he's never been super flashy. So he still got the Earl money, I'm pretty sure. And he got the Canelo money. I know you up by at least with endorsements and stuff. So Bud came in the boxing game, did what he had to do. Now he get to spend more time with the kids and stuff. But you know, don't be surprised because he stay in shape. He stay in shape. So we got to wait a couple years to really confirm if he's really retired. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about Bud's retirement because Bud truly has been the best fighter in this generation by far. Grind Hard Sports Nation. I will be back.